I was finding as a senior executive that I was getting more and more people issues coming to my desk, despite the fact that I'm trained in HR and I've done psychology as part of my degree. I still felt there was something missing. So I started just researching, trying to find new ways of engaging with my team, trying to communicate more effectively, and I came across NLP that way, in broad perspective. I started working with Gordon initially on NLP, and did the NLP practitioner course, which was incredibly eye-opening. A lot of important factors relating to communication that I've actually never considered before. You know, how people think, feel, you know, what they see, just even little things like that in relation to communication about people's perspective. And I've learned enormously about being in someone else's space rather than being my own. Clearly, as an executive, you quite often want results quickly, you want solutions, and very often I could see the solution myself. But the critical piece is actually making sure someone else sees it, or feels it, or thinks it. So NLP gave me a whole range of tools to actually get in that other person's space. Not just to get them to do it once, but actually for them to actually manage it many, many times over. That's the biggest thing I found. And then the second thing, despite the fact I'm a strategist and I understand what planning's about, and that there is a process to planning, that to enable people to understand there's a process for everything they do, and to enable them to be engaged in that kind of communication, that kind of thought, has been something I've been able to more readily transfer across since doing the NLP course. I've been pretty fortunate in life that I've undertaken many courses, you know, from undergraduate level to MBAs and to professional qualifications. And I've been a trainer myself. I'm, you know, trained in human resources. I coached in cricket, and I've actually coached cricketers as well, and coached coaches. So I feel I've got a reasonable understanding of this space of training. Coming along to this program with NLP and then hypnotherapy has been enlightening. It's actually changed my perspective of how I need to train, educate. Gordon has got, and I use this very, very sensitively, but he's got a great gift in his ability to train, educate. He's got a really interesting, engaging style. He really wants to make sure that people understand. He really is modernistic in his way. He does it very progressive. We look these days to knowledge share. You know, in the old days perhaps you were always wanting to protect your knowledge and protect your information. Gordon's got exactly the opposite approach to it and style, and I love that. So anything you need, any resource that he's got, anything that he can grab his hands on that he can transfer to make sure that you can be the best you can be, is his approach. It's incredibly practical, it's integrated, it's very, very interactive, it's fun. And my learning in what has been really for me a very complex space. I'm not a scientist, yet we're touching on neuroscience. I'm dealing with people in the same group who are psychologists and psychiatrists. My world is business, you know, it's the entertainment world, it's the sporting world. That's where I play my hand, and to actually feel comfortable in that environment and to learn so much has been extraordinary, and that's really a testimony to him. Yeah, all the time that I need from him, he seems to be able to give it. You know, NLP is an interesting subject, and you know, initially when I looked at it, I thought about just myself and studying this. And when I arrived at the course, there are obviously quite a lot of people from a psych background and a psychology background and what have you. And then now reflecting on it, NLP is something which could be beneficial for people in all sorts of walks of life. You know, I can give you a whole range of examples of what could be useful for. You know, you could be someone creating your first business a new business, NLP is going to be useful. You have to build a rapport up with, new contacts, build up relationships and networks, and the components of NLP are going to be really helpful for building that up. Understanding people is a critical part of this. I think that's the secret. Wherever you've got a relationship between two people, then NLP is going to be helpful. If you're a marketing person, if you're a HR person, or you're someone who's even trying to present a view of the world, a view of your new business in front of a range of people, all those areas create tension, create anxiety, and also you're trying to get across a particular message. NLP provides you with a lot of tools and techniques about that. And of course, initially, I really thought about NLP as being something which could help me help others, particularly in the sporting world, in the music world. People who, on the face of it, seem to be very, very successful, and of course they are, but underneath it probably have some insecurities and some concerns, may need things like anchors to help them progress and improve their performance. And again, NLP can be for them as much as people who are just running a business too.